Welcome to our first ever Hippo podcast. Today, the three of us are wrestling with the classic philosophical question: how does reason relate to epistemology, and how can we argue against the laws of reason?
Honestly, I don't think we need a reason to know the truth. Faith is enough. Sometimes you just have to believe, even if it doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm on the opposite side. I don't think we can know anything for sure. People have been arguing forever and no one agrees. Maybe knowledge is impossible.
Both of you are raising points that philosophers call fideism and skepticism. But in the book Philosophical Foundation, Gangrene argues that the laws of thoughts are unavoidable if we want meaning at all.
But can I just say, I don't care about reason. I only trust my faith.
Here's the problem. The moment you say, I don't care about reason, you're still using reason to make your points.
Okay, but what if I argue that reason itself is unreliable? Maybe contradictions are fine.
Think about the law of non-contradiction. It says something can't be both true and false in the same way and at the same time. If you reject that, words lose their meaning. If true and not true are the same, then your claim reason is unreliable means nothing.
So you're saying I can't even express faith without reason sneaking it?
Exactly. In the book, chapter 1 lays the foundation. Epistemology, the study of knowledge, depends on reason because it's what makes our thoughts meaningful. If you ditch it, you can't make sense of faith, skepticism, or even doubt.
But isn't that a little circular? You're using reason to prove reason.
It's not circular, it's what he calls self-evident. The laws of reason can't be denied without using them. It's like language. You can't argue against language without speaking. It's built into how we think. For example, syllogism is a type of method to explain the validity of laws of reason. First, whatever cannot be denied without using it is self-evident and necessary for meaning. Two, the laws of reason, such as non-contradiction, cannot be denied without using them. So, therefore, the laws of reason are self-evident and necessary for meaning.
So I can say, first, whatever cannot be meaningfully expressed or understood is empty. Second, faith without reason cannot be meaningfully expressed or understood. Therefore, faith without reason is empty.
Which means whether I like it or not, I was using reason to go against reason. In syllogism, I can say, first, whatever someone must rely on in order to argue against it, it is inescapable. In arguing against reason, one must rely on reason. Therefore, reason is inescapable.
Exactly. That's the big takeaway. Reason is the foundation of epistemology. Any attempt to reject it through skepticism or fideism ends up proving how necessary it is, and it leads to nihilism.
Huh? Maybe faith needs reason more than I realized.
Maybe skepticism isn't as safe as I thought.
Yup, it's the ground floor of philosophy. How about then, how do our common sources of skepticism and fideism play out in modern society?
I'll start. Honestly, I see fideism everywhere today. Many churches say, stop thinking so much and just have faith. You don't need to understand it all. They say to have faith even though your reasoning or understanding is too vague, showing piety and intellect.
True, but I saw the opposite too, full on skepticism. Some people refuse to believe anything. During the pandemic, many people in the US said, we can know what's true about vaccines, masks, or data. It's all a lie from the government. That's skepticism and truth and power, doubting the power because the group that's telling the truth is in the power.
Both fideism and skepticism are responses to confusion about reason. Skepticism arises when people doubt that reason can lead to clarity, and fideism happens when people give up on reason and lean entirely on blind trust.
But isn't faith supposed to be about trusting even when we don't understand?
Faith is fine, but Gangrene's point is that faith without reason is meaningless. If someone says, just believe me, and don't ask questions, that's fideism. And in modern society, that can be dangerous. Okay, think about conspiracy groups, or even certain political movements where people follow without any evidence given to them.
And skepticism isn't harmless either. I mean, if I say all news is fake, then I can't act on anything. During COVID, some people refused all medical advice because they doubted everything. That skepticism left them stuck, and in some cases, it cost lives.
So both extreme blind faith and total doubt cause real-world problems.
Exactly. Gangrene would say both lead to meaninglessness. Skepticism makes knowledge impossible, and fideism makes belief arbitrary. And both show up in society whenever reason is ignored.
Okay, but in a noisy world with fake news, biased reporting, and conflicting studies, isn't skepticism kind of understandable?
It is. That's one sources Gangadine points out. Confusions, contradictions, or bad arguments can push people into skepticism. But the solution isn't to abandon reason. It's to apply it more carefully and to clarify terms and test for contradictions and look for coherence.
And then I guess fideism also comes from somewhere. People want certainty or they don't feel equipped to reason deeply. So they just trust a leader, a church, or even a social media influencer.
That's so true. The source of fideism is often the fear that reason can't handle ultimate questions. But again, Gangadine says that's a mistake. Reason doesn't replace faith, it gives it meaning.
So let's connect this back to our example. During the pandemic, skeptics say, we can't know what's true, and fideists said, just believe what this authority says without asking questions.
And both ended up fueling division, mistrust, and sometimes harmful choices.
Right, and that's why philosophy matters. By recognizing the sources of skepticism and fideism, we can avoid falling into them. Instead, we can use the laws of thoughts to test claims, clarify ideas, and build meaningful belief.
So the lesson here is balance. Avoid blind trust, avoid total doubt, and stick with clear reasoning.
Which means neither fideism nor skepticism should guide society, but reason should.
Exactly. That's Gangadine's whole project, showing that reason is unavoidable and necessary for knowledge, whether in ancient philosophy or modern day headlines.
That's all, folks. See you next time.
See you next time.
See you!
Woo!